Alrighty then. I'm Acelyn Ventura. You might know my dad. Ace Ventura, pet detective. Animal rescuing savior of the 90s. My dad has never chose to acknowledge that I'm his child, but here I am, and I've got something to say. Now, some people are going to say that I have daddy issues, but go ahead. Warning! Assholes are closer than they appear. Sometimes they're your daddy. My daddy is a loser. I'm Acelyn Ventura, and I'm here to help heal the damage caused by my father's massive insensitivity, painful shaming, overlooked misogyny, and pointed humiliation at trans people. I may look like Ace Ventura on the outside, but my interior is vastly different. Let's call it breaking the cycle of generational trauma. After many hours of therapy, I've learned that my father has a massive amount of deficiencies that have nothing to do with who I am. My dad turned out to be homophobic, transphobic, and fearful of what's different, despite the fact that he walks like a bird with a wedgie. Unfortunately, I inherited this bird-like trait. Whenever I look in the mirror, I feel ashamed. I feel hurt, I feel sad, I feel weird. Especially when I see my dad staring back at me in the reflection. But at least I don't turn around, bend over, and talk out of my ass to make a point. Loser! Let's go back. I haven't seen my dad since he left for the African country of Namibia in '95 to find a missing bat and eat guano. Turns out that's not even a real country. Typical deadbeat dad. Took off lying and leaving with no trace. If I had to guess, my dad's disappearance had everything to do with the heat about his toxic attitude towards Ray Finkel's transition to a woman, Lois Einhorn. My dad took a plunger to his face after he kissed Lois. What? You think he's gonna get cooties? Loser! Now, Lois Einhorn was a criminal. She stole the Miami Dolphins mascot and kidnapped Dan Marino. But let me make it clear. Being transgender is not what makes Lois a villain. Unfortunately, the crime was overshadowed by my dad Ace Ventura's genital shaming, mocking, and disgust towards someone who was trans. And as a result, may have influenced a lot of people in the 90s to feel ashamed of the gender they choose or what genitals they have. My dad was wrong. We're all just trying to become whole, thriving people. Alrighty then. My dad's disrespect towards Ray Finkel's transition to become a woman may have been a result of growing up in a culture with a rampant history of fear towards otherness, and our gargantuan lack of respect, empathy, and understanding towards people who are different than ourselves. Guess what, Dad? We're evolving. We're getting better. Look at me. I'm Dr. Acelyn Ventura, vet director. An accomplishment my father has never and will never acknowledge. And I assume that's because he can't put my gender into a binary box and therefore doesn't consider me a person worthy of achievements. Guess I proved him wrong. Have I taken this too far?
Have I upset you because I'm crashing your beloved 90s icon?
Really? I don't care. If my father Ace Ventura ever shows up again, I hope he sincerely acknowledges his mistakes and he apologizes to those that he's disrespected and humiliated. Side note, I hope he sees animal activism as more than returning a dolphin to its tank to perform tricks and stunts for a crowd. I hope that my dad Ace Ventura has evolved and understands his own demons that made him torment people who were different than himself. And that all people, no matter who they are or what gender they choose, deserve a safe place in society from fear and shame. Alrighty then.